इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर रेशियो ऊपर क्या नो टर्नओवर रेशियो हियर they have put it under liquidity, surprising. Okay, so inventory turnover ratio here if you see it's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Don't check the latest, correct? So left hand side inventory turnover ratio is 4.49. If you write it in your notes, 4.49. Second one is receivable turnover ratio. Just type turnover, asset turnover and inventory turnover. They have only two. We will check receivable turnover on screen or I'll see if there's another. लेकिन I search turnover right now. नहीं turnover तो turnover में आना चाहिए ना. ठीक है चलो forget about the second one. Third, fixed asset turnover ratio we can take asset. I know fixed asset turnover ratio will be a little bit different as compared to total asset turnover ratio. You can take this one. Asset turnover ratio is 127.25. What is the next one? I'll increase the screen more. Zoom in. Okay. Current ratio. नीचे था. Current ratio 2.37. Next one. Debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity 0.04. Next. Interest coverage 20.86. Next. ROE. Sorry, ROCE है. अच्छा ठीक है, ROCE is also there in our sheet ना. So first you can write down ROCE 22.17. 22.17 ROCE. ROE किसको होता है तुम्हारा? हाँ? अजून आगे होगा? ओ, असल ले लेते हैं बार. मस्ती के लिए. Return on equity or return on net worth, both there. ठीक है, 18.55. अच्छा, I hope you understood this. I only got confused. This is return on net worth, but you can also say return on equity. Okay, 18.55. Anything else pending? P to BV. नीचे होगा शायद वैल्यूएशन. P to BV 4.33. 23.3. ऊपर है क्या? नहीं. Where did you find it? नहीं ठीक है. If you don't find it, we can find only two are remaining ना. Then P2E and receivable ना. So we can go to Polycab here on screen now. P2E 45.1. 45.1. And now receivable turnover ना. That is not just a number. Receivable turnover नहीं है इसमें. We'll have to calculate that. Forget it. It's okay even if you don't have it. एक मिनट होना चाहिए यार इसमें नीचे क्या देखते हैं इसमें. This is days. This is days. If we want to take days, debtor days will also tell us a very similar thing. I tell you. Debtor days again tells us within how many days they are repaying. Correct now? It will have a similar interpretation. Quickly tell me if lower days, then they are paying quicker or slower? Quicker. Okay. So days if less, better is the case or bad is the case? Better is the case. So if you want, you can go back and mention in our notes instead of debtor turnover, you can also check debtor days. Instead of debtor turnover, you can also check debtor days. Instead of debtor turnover, you can check debtor days. And what will be the rule? Tell me. Lower the better. Lower the better. On an average. On an average. Instead of receivable turnover, it is debtor days. In how many days is my debtor paying me? In simple words, whenever I am selling goods, within 60 days my customer is paying me money. Simple. Lower the better. If you want to write down, lower the better. Shall we check for the next? So done till here. Have you filled in everything for Polycab? Now let's go for KEI and we complete KEI. Whatever is possible on screen also. KEI Industries. Okay, write down PE. Tell me what is PE. 32.1. PE 32.1. ROE also very good, no? Return on equity 16.6. 16.6. ठीक है करेक्ट ठीक है अग्री स्टॉक पी को हमने यही से लिया था ना लेकिन कि नहीं पी यही से लिया था 32.1 एंड आल्सो डेटर डेज विल टेक फ्रॉम हियर ओनली डेटर डेज 118 so if you want you can write down for which two we are referred screener and others money control we are referred so that you also get to remember afterwards so what do I do everyone tell me KEI I have typed now where do I go I'm scrolling down where do I go I go to financials in financials detailed financials and I go down to ratios then I select consolidated. Very good. And then inventory turnover ratio 5.44. Inventory turnover ratio 5.44. Current ratio we'll also write down 2.14. Current ratio 2.14. Okay, then interest coverage ratio 7.38. P to BV 2.64. ROCE 22.58 and ROE 15.37 बोली तो ROE 15.37 debt to equity we have not written ना 0.16 debt to anything else remaining again asset turnover ratio can write down 138.73 maybe कहाँ पे हाँ मनी कंट्रोल पे पी कहाँ देता हूँ स्टार्ट में एकदम और मैंने आपको पहले बता रही हूँ मैं डिफरेंस आएगा बिकॉज विल बी इंक्लूडिंग सम आइटम्स they'll be excluding some items. So if you are doing analysis for only one for better comparison, like you said right now, if you are taking ROE from this website, take from that website only. Otherwise, you have to calculate everything on your own. And होगा तो भी थोड़ा फर्क रहेगा, जमीन आसमान का idea नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, little bit difference here and there. Now, the main point, the last column, which is remarks. Right now we have written everything. Now I want you all to write down. I'm going to wait for 2 minutes. You have to write down the name of the company, either Polycab or KEI, which is better, because you have the comparison right there only, no? Write the name of the company which is better in the analysis part. Yes, for each one right now. Based on ratio only. No, last two, okay, last two only based on normal ratios. Then at the end we'll decide. Last 1 minute. How many still solving? Still solving. One left. Done? Shall we check? So first tell me the figures for Polycab inventory turnover ratio was 4.49 and for KEI 5.44. Which one is better? KEI. Okay? If anyone has a doubt, then you can raise hand, otherwise we'll just go on. Okay? Receivable turnover? Tell me the figures. 59 days? 100 and? Exact double. 118 days. Which is better? Polycab. Okay. Fixed asset turnover ratio? 127. Point, forget it. 138. Which is better? KEI. Higher the better, no? Again. Next. 2.37. 2.14. Polycab. आपने फारस्ट कर लेते हैं. Debt equity? 0.04. Technically speaking, both are similar because anything below 1 is like amazing. But ठीक है, तो कमाने का लेते हैं. Polycab. हाँ. Interest coverage? 20.86. 7.38. Polycab. Next. 18.55. 15.37. Everyone? Polycab. ROCE? 22.17. 22.58. Almost same, but तू कमाने का लेते हैं. KEI. Very very minor difference, but still. P2PV? 4.33. 2.62. Okay. 64. Okay. Which is cheaper comparatively? Cheaper is KEI. P2PV? Tell me the figures now. 4? Huh? 25.1? 32.1? Huh? KEI. So ideally, what we should be doing is last two metrics. We should compare based on it. Yes or no? Based on this top 8, we should be comparing last two, no? Correct? So Polycab is winning in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. And they are demanding a higher valuation. बनता है. They are performing better. They are getting a higher valuation. Better liquidity also main. Plus their current ratio of receivable turnover में यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा they have again an upper edge again for liquidity because their customers are repaying them within just 2 months. So again better liquidity. Are you understanding this? How to compare? So always compare first 8 and then based on who is better, if the P2PV is higher, so you can say okay justified. Now let's assume that this would have been exactly opposite. अरे उल्ट क्या है इसे कहते हैं? Sorry. Assume that this would have been 2 and this would have been 4. And assume this would have been 32 and this would have been 45. Then should you jump and buy? Jump and buy directly. Why? All financials are good. Plus it is not trading at such a high value. Are you with me? Yes. But right now it's like okay, higher, better financials, higher P2PV. Okay. In that case, we always get a feeling that we should have checked few more parameters, not to get more conclusion. You feel that right now? Yes. Should we check few more parameters? And that is exactly what we are going to check in 10-pointer analysis. I think ratios के ऊपर got enough concept now. Yes. Shall I give you homework for ratios? Which two companies if you can suggest? Any two companies who are peers? Britannia Actual? NGL, IGL can be one thing. Can be two companies. Mahanagar Gas Limited and Indraprastha Gas Limited. That can also be. You want to take two? Take two. Write down homework number 1. NGL, IGL. Both are into MM. MGL, Mahanagar Gas Limited. And IGL, Indraprastha Gas Limited. MGL has its presence majorly in Mumbai. And Indraprastha Gas Limited has major presence in Delhi. And they are into piped gas. If many of you might be having piped gas at home these days, natural gas. MNGL is in Pune. NGL is in Mumbai. IGL is in Delhi. Okay. So that is what the company is about, natural gas. And we are going to compare the two parameters for them. And similar competitors are Balaji Amines, Alkyl Amines. Alkyl Amines, if you remember, it was one of the stock of the months earlier. Balaji Amines and Alkyl Amines, mainly to specialty chemicals. Balaji Amines, A-M-I-N-E-S. Alkyl, A-L-K-Y-L. Alkyl, A-L-K-Y-L. Alkyl Amines, A-M-I-N-E-S. And if you don't know, how many of you heard like this Balaji Amines for the first time? Okay, so if you're not sure what does the company do, you just have to type Balaji Amines, don't go to Balaji Telefilms. Okay, Balaji Amines, and then as I mentioned, you can just check out the right hand side. Okay, here if you see, you let know Balaji Amines Limited specializes in manufacturing methylamines, ethylamines, and methylamines, for but which are the derivatives of specialty chemicals, like I told you, chemicals, and pharma excipients. Anyways, those who have seen my video on alkyl amines, and we talked about 6 level derivatives. That was alkyl amines, that pre-bumper. In Marathi, there is this song, दत्ताची गाय, गाईचं दूध, दुधाचं दही, दह्याचं ताक, ताकाचं लोणी, लोण्याचं तूप, आणि बाळाला आवडतं खूप, असं म्हणतात ते. आम्ही एक वाचन. So what is this? This is a derivative. One product is being derived from the previous product, right? So ghee is being derived from लोण्याला काय म्हणतात? Butter, my mistake. Butter is derived from la. Now you got my emotions, right? Okay. So that is how we call it as a derivative. For alkyl amines, there is a chemical, and then a chemical is derived from the main chemical. From this chemical, another is derived. From this chemical, another. It's a 6 level derivatives they make. They're the only company in India which are making 6 level derivatives of specific chemical. Specialize in that. Okay. Competitor is Balaji Amines. So mainly to specialty chemicals. Okay. So you can very well keep on reading such points. Maybe you get to understand the company better as well. And for that, what you have to do, same table and tell which is better. First 8, based on 8, balance 2. Okay. Yes. So moving ahead with our 10 pointer. Some points will be common from ratio analysis only. Because I am going to consider few ratios as my 10 pointers. Okay. So let's check which are these 10 pointers. You'll see this on the immediate next page. And let's see if you know many of these terms already. Okay. Do you know what is market cap? Basics of stock market. What is market cap? Market capitalization. Total number of shares of the company multiplied by number of shares. That will tell us the market capitalization. Okay. So always tell me, for small companies, market capitalization will be small. Number of shares will be also less. Market price will be also less. For big companies, market capitalization will be high. I'm sure you have heard about large caps, mid caps, small caps. All these large caps means what having a large market capitalization. Big companies, blue chip companies will be generally large caps. Yeah, but you remember that large caps was greater than 50,000 crores. Mid caps was greater than 15,000 crores. That's what we have definitely. So right now, what am I saying? I am interested to analyze only those companies which are either a large cap or a mid cap. You are like, no, we want small caps. Then there is a chance of risking out your capital. If you are okay with that, fair enough. Remove this criteria or lower this criteria. You can say more than 5,000 crores. Achha, one last thing before I proceed. Is this exactly to be used in the same way, or this is my way of filtering out data? My way of filtering out data. Can you say, I don't want even mid caps, I want only large caps? What will you say? Market cap should be greater than 50,000. Finish. Is this okay? Yes. So do you know what is market cap? Higher the market cap, bigger is the company or smaller is the company? Obviously bigger the company. And for those who are there in basics of stock market, they know this. Those who are not there, you can write down market cap greater than 50,000 crores is equal to it's a large cap company. Again, these are not exact figures. If you remember, I had shown you that mutual funds ka data, and in that all was standing in a line, and we have taken top 50. Remember that? Okay, this was more or less 50,000, more or less 15,000. So this is more or less approximately it will be categorized as large cap. Greater than 15,000 crores, but less than 50,000 crores will be mid caps. Approximately. Do you know what do you mean by revenue growth? Revenue growth. Revenue means what? Sales, turnover. Revenue should grow at least by 10% as compared to last year. Is what I'm saying. Okay. Last year revenue was 100. This year I expect at least 110. Then I'm interested in that company. Last year 100. This year also 100. Then what's the use? So what is my expectation? Revenue growth has to be at least more than 10%. I'm comparing previous year with current year. Is this okay? How to find out is the next question I'll tell you. Wait, don't worry. First understand the concept. Profit growth is greater than 5%. You can tell this to me. What do you mean by profit growth is greater than 5%? PAT or PAT growth? PAT growth. So I'm saying that last year's PAT was 50. Simple. Last year's PAT was 100. Last year's PAT growth was 100. This year's PAT growth has to be at least 105 point something. Greater than 5%. 106 at least. If you're same at 100 only, then what's the use? Last year also same, this year also same. You put in so much effort during there. Right? So let your business grow to some extent at least. This is the minimum I require. ROE, ROCE. Have you already discussed this? Greater than 15%. Debt PPT. If you remember, I said maximum I want 2. So you can say also equal to or less than, let's say less than 2. It could be 1.9, 1.99 also. Fair enough. Do you also know what is current ratio? Yes. And current ratio you can say greater than 2 will be amazing. 1.5 I have kept it as a little bit lower. Can you also have greater than 2? Yes, not a problem. If you want, you can change that also. Fair enough. Cash flow from operating activities, do we know about this? Yes. My favorite. If you remember, I told you cash flow from investing negative. Okay. Cash flow from financing negative. Okay. Cash flow from operating negative. No, not acceptable. Clear? So we already know this. Next one is free cash flow. Okay. Free cash flow is again a very amazing concept. I have not taught this to you. So next 2 minutes only. What can happen? Understand. Assume I am a company wherein I am a very ambitious entrepreneur. And I want to expand and expand and expand. For that, will I have to have a good amount of operating activities cash flow? Yes or no? Yes. So assume I have 1 crore rupees of operating cash flow. But I need to install a factory of 1.5 crores. What will I do? What will I do? First I have 1 crore, I'll put that entire thing and balance 0.5 crores I'll take a loan. Is this okay? Can I say operating cash flow is... Can I say operating cash flow was there? But free cash flow, what was left in my hand was kind of negative. So free cash flow basically means whatever operating cash flow I had minus any capex that I did. Capex. Capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means more machinery, more plant, more fixed assets for production purpose typically. One more time. Okay. What is operating operating cash flow, revenue from operations, free cash flow. I have 1 crore rupees with me. Am I happy? Am I happy? Yes. Is this actually 1 crore in my cash and bank balance? Yes or no? Tell me. I want a correct answer. Is this actually 1 crore cash and bank balance right now? Yes or no? Yes, it's operating cash flow I'm talking about. I'm not talking about profit before tax. I'm talking about operating cash flow. I have 1 crore with me. Am I happy? Yes. But I want to expand my business. And assume I want to set up one factory shed. I'll give you a simple example. I have to set up a factory shed. That costs 80 lakhs. What will I do? From the 1 crore cash flow I had, what will I do? 80 lakhs I'll use for that factory shed. What is the freely available cash flow with me right now? After I did the capex, only 20 lakhs. This is free cash flow after doing all the capital expenditure. Okay, I'm going to give you 2-3 more examples. Operating cash flow, 5 crores. I have to bring in latest technology machine from Japan, worth 3.5 crores. Worth 3.5 crores. How much is the free cash flow available? 1.5 crores. Still happy? Yes. Next, my operating cash flow is again 5 crores. I want the latest technology from Japan, machinery, and the machinery costs 7 crores. My free cash flow is negative 2 crores. Did I have anything remain with me? Whatever 5 crores I had, I paid. In fact, I took a loan of 2 crores and also paid. Negative free cash flow for 1 year. Does it mean it's a disaster? No. Why? There are no expansion mode. No problem. 2 years back to back negative free cash flow. Still okay. I personally say more than 3 years negative free cash flow back to back. I feel that is disastrous. Because you cannot go on an expansion spree forever. You'll expand, you'll generate more revenue, and then ideally you should take the next step. If you just go on expanding without any limit, you may run out of cash. Your thought process of generating revenue could go wrong, and finally you might just go bust. Okay, so typically, whenever we are talking about free cash flows, again I'm repeating, what can be the best case scenario for free cash flow? Positive. It means that I'm able to generate a positive operating cash flow, I'm able to do my expansion, still I'm left with cash. And I'm able to do some capital expenditure, still I'm left with cash. Is that a perfect scenario? Why not? So you can imagine, expert my own example, now I'm correct answers. Assume revenue from operations is 50 lakhs. Okay, I needed one more small classroom, very small classroom. That cost 40 lakhs. Is my operating cash flow positive or negative? Positive. Next year my operating cash flow is 1 crore. And I want to buy a big classroom. 1.5 crores. My free cash flow is negative 50 lakhs. Next year I want to buy 5 classrooms. My total revenue from operations operating cash flow is, let us say, 8 crores. 8 crores. And I want classrooms worth 14 crores. Negative, almost 6 crores. Third year, my revenue from operations is again 8 crores only. Oh, I had bought 5 new classrooms. Still 8 crores only operating cash flow. And again I'm wanting 5 additional classrooms. Am I going too fast? I'm going too fast. I'm not able to maintain the operating cash flows. That is the reason why I say 1 year, 2 years, okay. But what to get with 3 years? On an upper end 3 years, free cash flow is negative, I'm okay with that. If I can see that fixed assets are continuously increasing. Are you understanding? When will I be okay with negative cash flows? If their fixed assets are continuously increasing, they're adding up more capacities. They're bringing in more and more machinery, they're building more and more factories. But 4 years, 5 years, back to back, they're into negative free cash flows. Can I say they're going too fast? I, as a person who doesn't love to take a lot of risk, I would avoid such a company. Any person who has a terrific risk-taking capacity can choose such a company. Have you understood this? So, in simple words, what is free cash flow? Tell me. Operating cash flow minus your capex, net capex. Okay? So, if you want to write down in simple words, free cash flow is operating cash flow minus net capex. For free cash flow, not required. See, here the whole thing is that how much I'm earning from the business versus how much I'm investing again into the business. Yes, of course, I'm going to show you how to get that. So, have you understood this? And what am I expecting that free cash flow of this year is greater than free cash flow of the preceding year? If that be the case, I'm happy with that. Free cash flow will be operating cash flow minus net capex. Net capex, why? Because I might also sell some capital asset and then also buy some, so net out. Net capex. Only capex. OPEX is considered an operating cash flow only, no? OPEX has already been taken care of. Okay, can we go on? Yes? Free cash flow, tell me, positive free cash flow, should I be happy? Can I say higher the better? Yes. Negative is a warning sign. Yes. For 1 year still I'm okay. 2 years? Yes or no? 3 years? Okay. How years I can wait for 3? Okay, and if fixed assets are at least your building capacities. And now you'll be able to understand maybe. See if you can get this. If you know, it's okay. But try to bring in maximum logic. I have negative free cash flows. Okay. My fixed assets are increasing. And my fixed asset turnover is also increasing. Fixed asset turnover means I'm employing more and more machinery, I'm producing more and more, and I'm selling more and more. Margins I didn't talk about right now. Depends. Margins, let's ignore margins for the time being. Let's consider only top line. Still should I be fine with that? I'm able to generate good top line, at least top line means revenue. Top line means revenue. Bottom line means profit. For those who are listening this for the first time, we write it also. Top line means revenue, bottom line means profit. Okay, now if you want to consider his point also. Focus again. Free cash flows are going into negative. Fixed assets are increasing. Turnover is also increasing, but margins are reducing. Can I say my net profit itself will go down? And then my operating profits will also start going lower and lower. So that can be a worrisome case. Are you with me? Yes? Now, if you have understood this, the last one is FII holding. You know what is an FII? Foreign institutional investors. We have done this in basics of stock market also. Basically, mutual funds from outside India, insurance companies from outside India. All these are institutional investors outside India, foreign institutional investors. Okay. Now, I want to filter out few companies which fit into these criteria. Now it's easy now. Check 5,000 companies. And filter. What is the big deal? Isn't it a big deal? It is, right? So when we were studying, we never had such tools. But Screener has really made it very simple and straightforward. So shall I show you how to create a filter? Yes? You have a doubt, okay, huh? You can, it's your choice. I told you this can be one of the good criteria. If you feel, if I'm taking ROE greater than 15%, instead of additionally adding up ROCE, I would want to add net profit margin. You give focus to net profit margin. You can add that. If you want, you can delete one or two from this. You can change numbers, one or two from this. It's completely your choice. I'm giving you a guideline. Hmm. True. True. That can tell us a risk in such scenario. Agreed. But generally, on the other side, why I thought of putting this? FIs will invest in double stocks or in good stocks. They invest in good stocks. So it's a simple logic. If FIs are investing, they at least have done their due diligence. At least they have thought through. I can take that as a parameter. DI also you can take. But generally, FIs move the market a share more than DIs. FIs can sell any amount. They can dump and leave. Doubt. Free cash flow, where to consider? Free cash flow never appears in balance sheet or P&L, nor does it appear in cash flow statement. You have to calculate that. I'll show you one minute. See, in screener, I showed you here is the balance sheet. Everyone can see this? Here is the profit and loss account. And here is cash flow. If you click on cash flow, here you can see cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities, cash flow from financing activities. There is no free cash flow here. Free cash flow doesn't appear in P&L, doesn't appear in balance sheet, doesn't appear in cash flow statement. You have to calculate that. Nowhere. See, you are trying to ask me. So you are trying to ask me that if I want to place free cash flow somewhere, I want to put free cash flow somewhere. You tell me whether to put in P&L or in balance sheet or where. Is that what you want to ask? You have to place free cash flow somewhere for analysis purpose. In that case, it will still fit in cash flow statement only. Because it will be cash flow from operating activities minus capex, then you get free cash flow. Okay? Yes. Now let us come on to the important point of how can you filter out data. So I'm going to don't take your screen up. Okay. Screen का नहीं. Oh, your display is different. On your computer it will be shown differently. Yeah? Ideally here you can see screens. On the top, I'm using a writing tab. That is why the display is different. Ideally whenever you open screener, here you will find screens, and in my tab I can see it here. Otherwise you'll search here. It will be right on the top. Okay. So I'm just pressing screens. Okay. Now if you want to create a screen, I already have two screens. A lot of screens here. I'll just show you a shortcut. 1 minute. So I'll create only. We will not use the shortcut. Can you see a blue tab? Create new screen. Yes. So one more time I went to screener home page, screener.in. Then go to screen. Screen is like a filter. Sorry, filter out companies which fit into your criteria. Okay. Then what will you press? Create new screen. Here you have to type a query. Okay. How do you type a query? For that I'll actually type out each and every point. I'll just quickly show you how to prepare a screen. Tell me all the 10 pointers. What is the first one? One. So the first one is market. So always whenever you start typing, it will show you some possibilities also. Okay. So market population. Can you see that? Yes. And we want it greater than 15,000. Now will you write 15,000 or 15,000 crores is the question now. So everywhere you'll see right hand side, they also give what is the minimum market capitalization and values already in rupees crores. Okay? Is this the only value or we want something else? We want more. So we write here and. Okay? The moment I enter and it automatically took me to the next line. I'm on the next line now. Next, tell me. Revenue growth. Revenue growth it is not giving me. Sales growth. Sales growth is same as revenue growth, na? So sales growth greater than. Now you're confused whether I should write percent or only 10. Read value in percentage. Correct? Sales growth you can also write 3 years sales growth, 5 years sales growth. You can do whatever you want. Do I want to type something else and what, tell me? Profit growth greater than 5. Correct? And ROE, return on equity, greater than 15. Is it super easy? This is no programming required. I'm just typing as if I'm explaining something. This is this and whatever. And next, ROCE, return on capital employed, is greater than again 15. And debt to equity. See, debt to equity is greater than. Is less than 2. And current ratio is greater than 1.5. And cash flow from operating is operating cash flow 3 years दिख रहा है यहाँ पे. Net cash flow last year and net cash flow preceding year. What is this? Operating cash flow. This is a net cash flow. No, this is net only, no? This is not operating. Operating cash flow 3 साल का दे रहा है यार ये तो. We may say operating cash flow because if you remember we said for 3 years back to back negative. If you remember the point that we were trying to make. Okay, so operating cash flow for 3 years. This is the sum of cash flow from operations. We also have a separate one for free cash flow, right? Again, this is 3 years. See here we have free cash flow. This is what I wanted. Free cash flow last year and free cash flow preceding year. We have this. Operating cash flow, we first write this. Free cash flow from last year is higher than free cash flow of preceding year. And what? FII holding is greater than 10. So we are just left with that operating what was the point? Cash flow from operating activity should be positive. I've done this here. Operating. Okay, let me just take this last point and I'll get back tomorrow, okay? Extremely sorry for this. Okay, with this, can I run the query? Yes, I'll run this query. And if you see here, which all companies are? By the way, we have found out 29 companies here, which fit into this criteria. Out of 5,000 companies. Read the names: Indian Energy Exchange, TCS, Tanla, Page, Marico, Supreme Industries, Tata Elxsi, Apple, L&T Technologies, Infosys, Mindtree, Crompton Thieves, Dr. Lal Patlas, Asian Paints, Divis, Astral, Pidilite, Havells, Petronet LNG, Imami, Coforge, Emphasis, Tech Mahindra, Kajaria, PI, Brightcom Group, Persistent, Chambal Fertilizers and Shree Cement. Polycab is not in this one now. Polycab is not in this one. Alkyl Amines is also not in this one. Balaji Amines is also not in this one. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, this is just a guidance that I thought of giving you. Can you add or delete or change the numbers? Is it super simple to create a screen? You just type the query greater than less than and. Type the query greater than less than and. And what can you do is, if you want, you can save this query as well. I'll tell you one more amazing point. Save this query and I say FA 2.0 class. Okay, let also use this as an option. Make the query public. If I pick out here, anyone can search this and can get this. I right now say I don't want to make it public, let us say. Okay, and I save this query. Okay, save the query, done. Okay, if I don't like this, I can delete the screen. And the best part now, if I click on get updates by email, any company which fits into this criteria, which was not earlier fitting into this criteria, I will get this as an email. This company has been newly added to our list. Can I say amazing point? My analysis is made so easy. Are you getting this? Yes? So what I want is that I want every one of you to prepare a screen. As I mentioned, it is absolutely fine. Instead of these 10, it could be 9, it could be 8. Numbers can change. It's up to your conviction, your risk-taking capacity. But definitely prepare a screen. It is free of cost, very important. You can prepare a screen, no problem. There is restriction on number of screens you can prepare in the free account. Okay, so prepare a screen, try to have your own filter for that, see which companies are coming, and more bigger and better numbers you take. Now with this will you be confident. So for example, when I did this video, Indian Energy Exchange, we put a filter, and this was the first one which came out. Okay, fine, let's do it. Let's go and dig down further. Then whether it's monopoly, qualitative analysis, this, that, then that's the secondary part. First we put this filter and then we go to detailed analysis. Because this is where many people ask me, Rachna, how do you select the stock of the month? Possibility number one, my team, Akshay only tells many stock of the month. But do you think he will be just telling out of the blue? Again, he has his own set of filter numbers. He'll put a filter and say, okay, this is the possible list. Out of this, I'll take one. Now, can you find companies on your own also? You need not have anyone else's help. It's that easy. Have you understood each and every parameter that we discussed today? Today was hardcore quantitative analysis. Okay? Right. Right. That is the case. One minute. For example, instead of talking about only the value, like I showed you right now, Canara Bank and some whatever, book value is more and current market price is less. Don't invest in such stocks because it is trading below the book value. It means something might be wrong with that. First, ensure that everything is okay, then only think of investing. Best example is Idea and Yes Bank also. Because it is small, because it's at 10-12 rupees doesn't mean it is cheap. Correct, but I think it depends. There might be many such examples which are small caps also. So to answer your query, simple. What can you do? There is a market cap greater than 15,000. You can put market cap lesser than 15,000. And by the way, if you want, you can also edit the query right away. Okay? I'll show you now. Once this is created, life is so easy. I just say market cap less than 15,000. Then I say run this query. See, I've gotten 19 results only. Prices देखो उनके all these are small caps are there. See, Sonata Software, Newstar, India Mart Intermesh, Metropolis, Saregama, Root Mobile, Newgen, Eris License, Vijay Diagnostics, V-Guard Industries, ये सबसे सस्ता है अभी तक तुम्हारे हिसाब से. Eclerx, Polymedicure, Intellect Design, Birla Soft, KE is from here. Antony Waste, Reddington, Matrimony, Red Cocaine. Okay? Is it super easy to filter out companies now? Yes? Yes. Very good. I hope everyone has understood right from day 1 of economics, economy analysis, industry analysis we did on day 2. Day 3, we focus more on company analysis. So to be honest, I can actually leave at this stage only. But now out of these, if I want to do, so for example, when I said it's greater than 15,000, instead of this, again I'll go back to greater than 15,000. And then out of all these, let us say I want to choose Infosys as an example. Then for IT companies other than this PE, PB, if you want to dig down deep, then what special parameters can you check for only IT companies? So there is something known as constant currency growth. Okay, there is something known as utilization ratio. Okay, these are special points that you can dig down further into. We'll also check one sector which everyone is waiting for since day one, banks. I'll tell you which ratios are to be checked in banking separately tomorrow. So 2 are on my radar. One is ICICI and second one is Infosys. If time permits, I will take ITC. I have also given that analysis in your book also. Whatever analysis I have to make, it's very much there in your book. I have taken it as an additional case study. Because tomorrow also I want to focus more on screener, when we take more and more examples. So I originally planned that in the first half we'll do Infosys, we'll do some more examples on screener. Second half we'll do ICICI Bank, again we'll do some examples on screener. If still time permits, we'll take ITC. Is that fair enough? Yes? Shall we stop? Say yes. 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 I'll see you. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.